Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you to Canterbury and this degree congregation of the University of Kent, which by tradition and most fittingly is held in these magnificent and historic surroundings. The ceremony will start shortly, and I hope that you will enjoy this very special occasion with all that it means to those who are receiving their degrees and to their families and friends who supported them during their time of study. Before the ceremony begins, however, I would like you to take note of the following 4 points. First, please remain seated in your seats throughout the ceremony and do not move around the cathedral. Second, please do not take photographs during the ceremony as it spoils the enjoyment of others. The proceedings will be video recorded and copies may be obtained after the ceremony. Third, if you have a mobile telephone or any other electronic device with an alert or alarm, please ensure that it is switched off and remains silent during the ceremony. Finally, please stand up when the fourth and last procession, that of the Chancellor, enters the cathedral. I will give you a clear signal for this just before that procession begins. Once again, I hope that you enjoy the ceremony. Thank you.
I declare this congregation open. Distinguished guests, our honorary graduand, colleagues, and especially our graduands. Today we are awarding degrees to those who have successfully completed the University of Kent programmes of study. We do so in this wonderful setting of Canterbury Cathedral. I'm sure you would all like me to convey our thanks to the Dean and Chapter for allowing its use. It's my pleasure to welcome you to our degree congregations. On this special occasion, my first duty on behalf of the University is to congratulate all of you who are graduating today. I recognise the hard work that has led to this very significant achievement. I'd like to thank those members of the University staff who have supported you throughout your studies. It is the staff, together with the students, that make the University of Kent such a successful institution of higher education. Special thanks go to those who are here today at this degree congregation. Finally, I want to welcome family members, friends and other supporters who are here to join in this celebration. I've no doubt that you have provided significant, indeed essential support for which you too deserve thanks and congratulations. Now, these occasions are not just important to those of you who are receiving awards, they're also important to the university, both corporately and as individual members of staff. Graduation is a formal expression of one of the core elements of our work, transmission of knowledge. So this congregation, for both the staff of the university and also your supporters, provides the moment when we can join together and take pleasure in your success. We're celebrating what is at the heart of the University of Kent. Our aim is not simply to equip you with academic understanding and your qualifications, but also to ensure that you have the knowledge and skills that will enhance your employability and enable you to play a full part in society. You will, beyond the coursework itself also have learned how to learn, how to be educated. Education has been described as what you have left when you have forgotten all you've learned. The University of Kent has flourished during your time here. We perform strongly in a wide range of league tables. We have world-leading research and impact, but are also rated highly in our teaching and in terms of what students say about us through the National Student Survey. I was delighted that Kent was awarded a coveted Gold Standard, the top award in the government's recent Teaching Excellence Framework. We offer a combination of research and teaching excellence that puts us within the very top tier of higher education institutions in this country. So when I look back over the past year, I see many examples of success. The work that will make our iconic Templeman Library a larger and even more impressive resource for learning. The impressive new Simpson building to house our business school and School of Mathematics, the Wigader Law Clinic building, the student hub at Medway, the quality and impact of our research across all our faculties, our numerous cultural partnerships, and the achievements of the many sporting and other student clubs and societies. So as you can see, the University of Kent is flourishing in many ways, but we are conscious also that we do not exist as some kind of ivory tower, looking only inwards at our staff and students. We value immensely the support that we receive in so many ways from the Kent and Medway regions. In return, we contribute both economically, with 1 in 10 jobs in Canterbury directly or indirectly due to the university, but also more broadly in terms of our cultural and social impact. Our students provide over 100,000 hours of voluntary work to the local community. You have studied within a large and diverse community which celebrates equality, diversity, and inclusivity. We think it essential for our students and staff to look outwards, towards Europe, and of course beyond to the rest of the world. We do this in many ways, but especially through our study centres in Brussels, Paris, Rome, and Athens, and our many, over 300, bilateral agreements with universities around the world. This university is located in a county that has long been the first point of contact between continental Europe and the United Kingdom. And here, in this great cathedral, we should recognise that the region has a heritage of intellectual and cultural engagement with the continent that stretches back over 1,500 years to St. Augustine, and no doubt even further. Whatever the future holds in terms of political structures, the University of Kent intends to play as strong a part in the culture of Europe in future as we have done in the past. And we will continue to welcome students and staff from Europe and around the world. You, enrich our university and enrich our country. We will continue proudly to be the UK's European university. I also wanted to add a very personal vote of thanks to our outgoing Vice-Chancellor, Dame Julia Goodfellow, whose outstanding work here at Kent is recognised by other universities, in Universities UK, which she leads, in government, by her colleagues, staff and students, and also by me as Chancellor. Thank you, Julia, for all you have done to lead the University of Kent to the position of excellence it now holds. We'll do our best to continue the work you've done. In my discussions with students here and at other universities, I've been struck by how often I'm told that upon graduation, the student is seeking a job, a career, a life with some kind of public purpose. Yes, our students are ambitious. Yes, they wish to provide a good standard of living for themselves and their families. And yes, many are correct in assuming that a good university education is likely to help them along that path. But I am profoundly encouraged by those among you who constantly tell me you see beyond yourself and your family to the wider society and the wider world. I applaud you for your commitment to a wider public purpose. In conversation recently with Lord Hague, who, as William Hague, was once Britain's Foreign Secretary, Lord Hague told me that one of his ambitions was to make sure that people in his department would be proud to tell others where they worked and what they did. I know our students are proud to tell others that they have graduated from the University of Kent. And I know our staff are extremely proud to say they work here. And I am proud to tell people that I have the great privilege of being your Chancellor and conferring degrees today. I hope this pride stays with you, whatever you may choose to do in the future. So, graduates, I really do hope that you are as proud of this university as we are of you. I hope you enjoy the rest of the ceremony and afterwards go on to celebrate your success with family and friends. By admitting you to your degree, it is our honour and pleasure to mark your success and to wish you well on your future path, wherever it may take you. Thank you. I call upon the Dean of the Faculty of Humanities to present candidates for the award of degrees.
Most Honourable Chancellor, to you and to the whole University I present these candidates from the Faculty of Humanities found worthy to be admitted to degrees.
By virtue of the authority committed to me, I admit all those who are about to be presented and other qualified candidates in absentia.
For the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Honours, Rania Zayed Ghaleb Abu Jabba. Grace Allen. Eleanor Ann Ashley. Alice Charlotte Bailey. Olivia Anne-Marie Baker. Sophie Kate Banham. Kirsten Louise Barlow. Kate Elizabeth Barnes. Hannah Lynn Bell. Billy Louise Cullen Bentley. Maxine Bobbitt. Laura Katie Botsford. Anthony James Boyle. Janelle Effie Brew. Laura Brockbank. Amelia Pam Brooking. Harry Angus Brooks Kent. Emilia Bruce Watt. Corinne Susan Brunavs. Ellen Sarah Ann Budge. Ryan Christopher Butler. Charlotte Louise Butler. Warren Campbell. Fanny Castella. James Michael Cavalier. Georgia Ellen Chambers. Cameron Chapman. Coram Chase. Michelle Chow. Gabrielle Coates-Bassey. Callum John Forrester Collins. Daniel Courtney. Claire Coots. Anna Margaret Cregan. Rachel Laura Cribbin. Alexandra Lauren Crowdle. Amy Cuthbert. Dominique Davies. Gillian Eliza Josephine Davis. Alice Rose Dawes. Kerry Grace Donkin. Joshua Douglas Heath. Kira Leanne Doyle. Tiana Drennan. Madeline Josephine Laura Dunn. Edric Stanley Erling Eastall. Francesca Elizabeth Grace Edmondson. Amy Jane Edwards. Jennifer Rose Edwards. Emily Jane Elmore. Joanne Page Entzinger. Maximilian Charles Zenon Feddick. Naomi Ruth Fleet. Evan Kendall Francis. Andrew Friday. Rebecca Rose Fennell. Patrick Neil Gallagher. Oliver Garner. William John Garrett. Megan George. Thomas George. Alexandra Gooch. Natalia Macrina Garopoulou. Jack William Green. Taryn Krista Gregory. Tara Jane Griffin. Nirvana Hadley. Lydia Jane Hall. Lily Hammond. Taryn Harley. Ellie Hart Fisk. Ayandamola Rafayette Hassan. Liam Harry Jarer Hebron. Catherine Judith Miriam Hislop. Rebecca Louise Hewitt. Sophie Emily Hicks. Sophie Louise Hill. Kate Helena Slater Hall. Sarah Holt. Emily Rose Honorati. Zara Laya Huggins. Jessie Rebecca Farrell Hunter. Emma Louise Husky. Shadia Hussain. Danielle Nicole James. Elizabeth Harriet Jarvis. Oliver Kenton. Bilawal Kawaji. Antonia Mary Lagergren. Emily Elizabeth Laws. Elizabeth Mary Lee. Iona Scarlett Lee. Alexandra Chi Ying Lin. Kerry Shirley Susan Little. Claire Livingston. Hannah Victoria Luckett. Manon Coralie Leray. Florence Sylvia Ma. Katie Emma Mallion. Helen Matthews. Ariane McAllister. Rebecca McElroy. Abigail Margaret Barbara McMahon. Connor James Meakin. Shanez Mehmet. Charlotte Muckridge. Nicola Ann Moore. Jack James Morris Edwards. Kira Roisin Murphy. Zaid Nasir. Rianne Danielle Newton Burns. Sarah Elizabeth Nichol. Hannah Jane Noble. Zoe North. Martina April Nymark. Olawafami Layor Beimani OK. Paulina Orlova. Rolaki Whitney Azebayo. Geraldine Penders. Hannah Pepper. Thomas Perfect. Marissa Jade Perkins. Catherine Amy Pasquette. Elizabeth Pilcher. Olivia Pinkney. Jasmine Kate Pook. Sean Pratley. Simon Pressinger. Oliver James Butler Price. Harry Purvis. Jack Daniel Slade Quinlan. Saga Rad. Priyanka Deepkaur Rai. Tamar Renshaw Khalis. Cassandra Louise Rocks. Natasha Christine Saxby. Elizabeth Sophie Sadrani. Ashley Jade Simmons. Florence Elaine Simpkin. Sunny Singh. Tanya Marie Small. Bethany Elise Smallridge. Benjamin John Williams Smart. Brittany Charlotte Smurden. Georgina Angela Smith. Taylor Cecilia Smith. Catherine Lynn Solvag. Hannah Emily Springle. Samuel Joseph Stranger Cornwell. Jennifer Rosa Stubberfield. Andrew James Thomas. Karen Thompson. Devon Maisie Tipping. Catherine Joanna Tobin. Christine Tran. Emma Tucker. Poppy Turner. Samantha Emily Van Schaik. Sarah Kathleen Verrill. Nicole Marie Moore. Chloe May Watson. Francis White. Kate White. Rosella Susanna Whitehead. Lewis Andrew Wilkes. Phoebe Florence Wolsey. Annabelle Wood. Kelly Millicent Lillian Ray. Yun Queen Say. Hani Baraya Youssef. Henna Bryan. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Barbara Franchi. For the thesis, Ideas That Matter, Strategies of Intertextuality in A.S. Byatt's Fiction. The following candidate has requested that they be admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in absentia. Roman Reyes Pascal.
I now call upon the public orator, Dr. Oliver Double, to present Mark Steele for the award of an honorary degree.
Hello, public orator here. Before I get into this, I've got to do a speech about our honorary graduate Mark Steele, and I just want you to think about how odd that is. He's got to stand there for a full 3 minutes while I praise the hell out of him, with over 1,000 of you staring at him. Okay, let's get on with it. Mark Steele was born in 1960 and was brought up by his adoptive parents in Swanley, which he describes as being a very different bit of Kent to Canterbury. He says that he wouldn't want to be rude about the people of Swanley, but it was, and I quote, an atrocious place. As his friend and fellow comic, the late Linda Smith, who came from Erith, once put it, Mark Steele comes from Swanley, down the road from me. We have a kind of long-running argument about whose town is the most boring, and although I argue my corner, I've always known deep down he's right. He attended Swanley School, which he describes as magnificently notorious. Although he fondly remembers the time that his long-haired French teacher led the class on an impromptu discussion of the nature of great art, sparked off by a discussion of a recent LP by the prog rock band Yes, his experience of school put him off formal education, and he decided not to go to university. Instead, he went into a series of jobs which he found uninspiring at best. At about the age of 20, he saw a film of the great African-American comedian Richard Pryor live in concert, and this made him realise that stand-up comedy could be about more than just a series of jokes. At around this time, he also became aware of the nascent alternative comedy scene in London, which was made up of the Comedy Store and a few tiny clubs. The first time he went to one of these, there was a small audience, but he was fascinated by the seediness of it. He made his stand-up debut at the Comedy Store in 1982. He remembers getting 3 or 4 laughs, and afterwards the compere declared he'd done, and I quote, all right. This response made him, he says, the happiest I've ever been. It was difficult to become established as a comic in the early 1980s when there were so few comedy clubs and the entire circuit was anarchistic and ramshackle. Nonetheless, it was in this context that he developed his distinctive style of stand-up, which has made him such an important and respected figure on the comedy circuit for over 3 decades. He has a genius for creating hilarious routines, expressing radical opinions, often by drawing analogies between politics and everyday situations, then acting these out by becoming a series of different characters and showing off a quietly impressive range of accents, voices and impressions. His most recent touring show, Who Do I Think I Am?, tells the story of how Mark went about tracing his birth parents. It's received widespread critical acclaim. The Guardian described it as improbable, richly ironic, challenging for skeptics of biological determinism, and told without a shred of sentimentality. The comedy website Chortle said, "Of all the tales ever committed to stand-up, this is one hell of a corker." On a personal note, it was the best stand-up show I saw last year, and I watch a lot of stand-up. Mark frequently appears on television and radio, notably as a regular panellist on Radio 4's The News Quiz, where his gleeful comic rants raise multiple laughs, often ending in applause. He has also starred in a number of radio series, notably Mark Steele's In Town, which has had 7 series since 2009. In each episode, he visits a different town, taking in places like Huddersfield, Melton Mowbray and Kingston upon Thames, and performs a stand-up comedy show, expanding on the normal local reference comedy which touring comics use by including routines about local history or current political disputes. For example, he finished the Penzance episode by bringing people on both sides of a bitter argument about a harbour wall up on stage with him and making them sing the Bob Marley song One Love together. Mark may have ducked out of formal education at the earliest opportunity, but he is a natural autodidact, and much of his comedy has grown out of his passion for history. He created a full-length stand-up show about the French Revolution, and his BAFTA-nominated series, The Mark Steele Lectures, explored the historical importance of such figures as Karl Marx, Mary Shelley and Charlie Chaplin. He's written 5 books and has a weekly column in The Independent, for which he won Columnist of the Year in 2015, commenting to me, "Quite funny, it's not even my main job." In his spare time, Mark is a keen supporter of Crystal Palace and Kent County Cricket Club, and he has 2 children, Elliot and Eloise. Most Honourable Chancellor, to you and to the whole university, I present Mark Steele in recognition of his contribution to comedy to be admitted to the degree of Doctor of Arts honoris causa.
By virtue of the authority committed to me, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Arts honoris causa.
Thank you very much. I'm very, very deeply honoured for receiving an award, in part for having written columns and programmes that are, in some part, trying to sort of tear down the idea that society and life should all be about ridiculous traditions wearing rather absurd, quaint clothes in establishments that are connected to the church. But it is an honour for so many reasons. Thank you so much for this. It's an honour for so many reasons. One of the reasons that it is an honour to receive this award here is that we are now in the strangely, and this would really very few people will have predicted this, the Socialist Republic of Canterbury all of a sudden, which very few people will have predicted, I think, and partly they didn't predict it, of course, because at the last election, young people were sort of dismissed, in a way, by the establishment. I think that's certainly the case. I think the establishment, they counted young people's votes as being less likely to vote than older people. No, that's quite patronising it seems to be. I said to me that that's what the opinion poll people must have done. I think they went up to young people, there's a young person, who do you vote for? And around the country, young people have said, well, like, I'm going to vote for like Corbyn, innit? Because like, the Tories like mush up the health service and the education you get me, and like, the health, like Corbyn going to get bare votes you get me from, innit? We'll put you down as a don't know. And it seems to me that it's always seemed to me really that the way that education can be seen is in two very different ways. One of the reasons that I didn't really get on with formal education, it seemed to me too formal. For example, history, I had very little interest in what the teachers were teaching me at school. It seemed to be about the least interesting aspects of history. Dates, 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 dates. I know it's a little bit better now, but the most important thing was always dates. You know, when was the Reformation? When was the Battle of Hastings? That sort of thing. And I thought, apart from anything else, that's usually the least interesting aspect of a story, isn't it? The date. If you come telling someone a fantastic story, I was swimming once in the Caribbean and we had to swim away from a shark. Well, the most, yeah, but when was it? Was it August the 9th? Was it November the 10th? It's the least interesting thing. And especially the Battle of Hastings is absolutely the most interesting. You know, the amazing thing, I bet even in 1071 most people couldn't remember when it was. I bet people would say, oh, it can't be 5 years ago already, surely. Oh, well, it was 1067 when Ken got leprosy, it must be. And it seems to me that in the educational establishment that I went to, that the idea of asking questions, the idea of asking the questions, all these brilliant people we've just seen come up and collect their awards, all the questions that they've asked, all the initiative, all the intuition that's gone into it, that wasn't the idea of education 40, 50 years ago, and it still isn't the idea for it. It seems to me extraordinary in a way that, you know, if you take a kid, a 4-year-old, they're always asking questions. Any parent who's got a 3 or 4-year-old is going, oh, no, they won't stop asking questions. Kids, how much does the moon weigh? Why can't cats talk? Who invented cheese? All the questions that drive you mad as a parent. And it seems to me what we do is we go, oh, bloody kids asking questions. I know, we'll send them to school. That'll put a stop to that. And it strikes me as well that in a way, what's happened in the recent election, in the way what happens and what everybody who's just got a degree and everyone who's embarking on an educational, on any educational enterprise, the idea that we always need to try and remember is that don't let people tell you that you've got to stick to what's accepted. Don't let people tell you that we've got to stick to the middle ground. Now, if you're trying to change society, whether it's through a scientific endeavour or a political campaign, then you will always be told that. You can't do that because that's too radical and you've got to win over the middle ground. Now, this is true. You have got to win over the middle ground, but the middle ground changes. For example, 30 years ago, if you were in favour of gay marriage, you were considered an extremist. Now you're considered an extremist if you're against it, because people have fought for the middle ground to change. Now you get some people who still don't understand that. You'll get some old UKIP councillor who'll say, well, once a man can marry another man, this is what one of them said, once a man can marry another man, that undermines my marriage with my wife. And I thought, well, that must be a very frail marriage, mustn't it? Is that all it takes? Do you send this, dear? These two chaps we've never met and never cared to meet, they're going to get married. I'm blaming you. Pack your bags, get out. And apart from it, then they'll say, well, it's encouraging homosexuality. And I always think, well, is that the case? I doubt it. Does it? I wonder, since the law's changed, I wonder how many men have gone, I'm not gay, but I'm going to marry Stan over the road. I mean, it just seems a shame to waste a change in the law, don't you think? But the middle ground has shifted. The middle ground in this country in the last month has shifted. What was extreme is now mainstream. And I think that is an idea that anyone doing a degree, about to start a degree, or who's got a degree, or who is in any part in the educational system, which is all of us, then all of us need to think of that all the time, which is why I would like to thank many people, but the people I'd very, very much like to thank the University of Kent for this. But also, I think all of us, when we're thinking about anything we achieve within education, the people we need to think are many-fold. To start with, we need to thank the people of the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th century who said that it was worth investigating ideas, that we mustn't just accept that an idea is as it's presented to us in the form that, well, because God said that's where the planets go and that's where they go. All the people who fought for an education system that we should all be part of, rather than just elite, those people in the 18th, 19th centuries, all of which were considered extreme at the time. The people who fought for a comprehensive education in the middle of the 20th century, the teachers and the people around the world who have fought for the idea that education should be for people of all races, for people, whether they're men or women, that you shouldn't have to go through life pretending you're not gay if you're gay. All of those people who have fought, all of those people who have been considered extreme and now are considered mainstream because they've made what was extreme mainstream, who have won the middle ground. All of those people, I think we should all thank for the right to be able to engage in education, an education that isn't, as the Chancellor said, just something that is about remembering facts, that isn't just something, that's me who said that, isn't it? But isn't just something about learning the facts that are put in front of you, but about learning a way of investigating, inquiring and challenging all the time. And for that, and for being part of that on this day, I would like to thank you very, very much indeed. Thank you.
And I call upon the Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences to present candidates for the award of degrees.
Most Honourable Chancellor, to you and to the whole University I present these candidates from the Faculty of Social Sciences found worthy to be admitted to degrees. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Honours, Habib Ali. Jack Baldock. Florian Georg Brandstetter. Melissa Francis Chappell. Christian Ayatunde Dada. Bobby James Hoy. Luke Alexander James. William Henry Johnson. Omar Khurshid. Niall Maroney. Parin Kamar Patel. Jack Pullen. Samuel Russell. Akriti Singh. Ram Sisodia. William Tilbrook. Henry Edward Wood. For the degree of Bachelor of Science with Honours, James Adams. Rachel Bolawatife Adekoya. Jessica Ebre Agu. Maxim Albert. Sumi Nabil Mohammed Abdullah Al-Khair. Denise Al. Dana Osama Yusuf Al-Sad. Rebecca Anderson. Louise Sashani Nayaku Anucci. Rashida Busayo Titilope Busola Apena. Harry James Archer. Samuel Martin Allen Ashby. Charles William Ashcroft. Peter Assor. Ishika Audit. Andrew Anwar Pasha Airman. Shemas John Aziz. Harry James Baker. Daniel Adam Banks. James David Vavassa Barnes. Anissa Bibi Zainab Bauluk. Benjamin Tololoki Ayodele Bello. Mehul Verji Budia. Benjamin Simon Bloomfield. Ranjabuti Borar. David Roy Bracey. Daniel Bradatanu. Joshua Brooks. Annabelle Brown. Thomas Christopher Brown. Marianne Burke. Luca Castradori. Joshua Z. Singh Cheer. Bobby Chegwidden. Jingen Christiana Chong. Alexander James Christian. Beth Evelyn Clausen. James Ian Douglas Cox. Callum Stuart Cunningham. Rebecca Curzon. Ali Abbas Datu. David Davies. Jack Anthony Dempsey. Alexander James Dingwall. Harrison James Leonard Dunk. Mac Ellis. Ogena Kevwe Erigara. Charles Folkus. James Fan. Geneva Brenda Ferrer. Artem Formin. Jose Miguel Fonseca Diaz da Silva. Matteo Franchi. Patrick Isabello Real Friel. Oliver Alexander Fritz. Jose Angel Cuneza Garcia. Alexander David Gardner. Rajib Kumar Gozi. Gracie Greenfield. Sean Guilfoyle. Rhythm Gupta. Tobias Headley Halsey. Simon Edward Harvey. Shana Hawkins. Manvir Hare. Thomas Robert John Hepworth. Niall Hickey. Sophie Ellen Hodges. Ross Alexander Holsworth. Bradley Connor Howell. Fadil Huda. Mohammed Hussein Ibrahim. Jessica Jagpal. Faisal Kaikso. Bruce David Ebitania Kalaiti. Loana Katana. Aditi Kanal. Kore Ali Kolchak. Bai Koroma. Agni Kumpi. Joe Lancaster. Adam Richard Lifshak. Zhuo Tong Liu. Francisco Manuel Zeferino Gonçalves Loureiro. Sebastian Luis Gomez. Anish Kumar Maitra. Dami Martilano. Julian Jeremy Martin. Adam John Matthews. David Kwaku Mensah. Kajol Vijay Mistry. Nikita Modasia. Ibrahim Luayu Mohammed. Yasir Bilal Mohammed. Edward Gordon Thomas Morris. James Munn. Zohaib Najam. Gi Moon Nam. Divyangi Chamatka Navaratna. Bethany Louise Nobes. Noel Chimdinma Obamati Okwedi. Anne Viet Nguyen. Bolawatifi Damilare Alubajo. Chikezi Opara. Yannick Lucas Tobias Pape. Oliver Carvin. Divya Patel. Benjamin David Patel. Theodoros Padikis. Sarjan Fakey. Tahindri Ratwati. Philip Andrew Reed. William Samuel Relf. Nathan Fabian Edward Roden. James Robinson. Jonah Reuben Sanders. Edward Scott Sandilands. Rebecca Scanapietro. Nicholas James Shields. Jack Shrimpton. Emily Elaine Shuttlewood. Henry James Simpson. Kieran Joe Smart. Benjamin Tom Spencer. Jack Stedman. Minear Adrian Stefan. Emily Rebecca Swain. Ian Peter Simons. Adam Taylor. James Alexander Taylor. Ricky Thompson. Christopher Ben Tyson. Andrei Turin. Praveen Uthayakuma. Paula Sultana Reni Uzan. Jamie Paul Waddell. George Edward Warren. Nicholas Weinstein. Stephen Paul Wally. Morgan Whitehead. David Linford Hayes Williams. Angus Wilson. Melissa Lillian Worsley. Connor Kien Ming Wu. Chantel Carlock Yao. Junwoo Yu. Benjamin Philip Young. Jakub Zaiko. For the degree of Master of Science, Zeshu Dong. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Hamna Ahmed. For the thesis, Essays on Rainfall Shocks and Decision Making within Community Development Organisations in South Asia. Alessandro Cusimano. For the thesis, The Effectiveness of Local Development Programmes in Southern Italy, a Global Counterfactual Analysis. Francis Owuku Darko. For the thesis, Empirical Analysis on Microfinance Institutions in Developing Countries. Denise Claire Lovett. For the thesis, Follow the First Follower, Donations of Charity and Pro-Social Behaviour. Joshua Sibu. For the thesis, Essays on Farm Household Credit Constraint, Productivity and Consumption Inequality in Malawi. The following candidate has requested that they be admitted to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in absentia. James Peter Warren.
Will all those receiving degrees and certificates today please now stand? This has obviously been an occasion of great celebration of your achievements, and we wish the very best to all of you. But throughout this ceremony, you have been roundly applauded and cheered by all those who are here to support you. So now it's your turn. Will you applaud them in return? frankly, that was rubbish. Will you do it properly, please? That's better. Thank you. I know that some are continuing with further studies here today, but both you and those leaving should keep in touch with the university. You'll always be welcome to return. We have one of the most extensive and lively alumni associations of any university in Britain, which I hope you'll join and be active in. Finally, may I thank every one of you for coming here today and wish you all a safe journey home. I declare this congregation closed.